Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon, ma'am.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good
So
afternoon, ma'am.
good afternoon, Aditi. Uh, Gurvinder, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. So welcome everybody to class number 3 of our session. I hope you liked the session that you attended earlier, the outreach program.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw some of you with your videos on. Great going. All right. So,
It was very helpful, something new. Um,
mm,
and it was interesting also, the castle format. It was
format, correct.
interesting to read.
Yes, so we kind of have these sessions, outreach programs once a month, and they've always been very, very different and something new that can be learned. So become members so we can all attend such kind of programs.
Already one.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Aditi. Which chapter are you belonging to?
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. All right. Okay. Great. All right. So let us begin our class. Let me just start sharing my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. So, this is class number 3. The first two class were kind of, we discussed some basic theories and, what is experiential learning. So, class 1 was devoted to understand what is experiential learning theory. We looked at the history. We started with John Dewey, ended with David Cope, and we looked at the cycle of learning, which was given by David Cope, also the learning style inventory. So the different types of learners. Last class number 2, we spent on social learning theory. So again, we started with some background. We started with how the theories evolved from behavioral to observational to cognitive psychology, ending with the Albert Bandura model of learning. Okay, so we learned all these theories for the past two class. Now we are going to look at how we are going to use these theories for ourselves in our training programs. So what we are going to do today is we are going to have a look at various experiential training methods and how they are applying to the theory that we have learned. Okay. So just we're not going to go into details of the methods. We'll have an overview and then we'll end by seeing which method would be best for the different learning cycle processes. Okay. So before we go on, uh, maybe you can use the whiteboard. I'll just put up the whiteboard here. All right. Can you see the whiteboard that has come up?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What I would like you to do is uh, write down different experiential methods that you know. I'll tell you how to write. Do you see the tool out here, the tool bar out here on for you, it could be either on the extreme left, right, somewhere,
Yeah, we can
bottom,
able to
top.
write.
Okay. So it starts with an editing pen. And I think somewhere on the 5th or 6th, you'll find a sticky note.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you click on the sticky note, you get some colors, select a color that you want. Something like this will come on the screen. And you can actually start typing your answers here. Once you click, that will come through. Okay, so you may write that experiential method that you want over here along with the along with your name, so we know who's done what. If you're unable to use the whiteboard, my suggestion would be use the chat box. You can write your answers in the chat box as well. Okay, so along with your name, give me this method. Don't use the pen. It's very difficult to write with the pen. Okay, Aditi, wonderful. On-the-job training is experiential learning. Fantastic. Group discussion.
The chat box,
is-
I cannot see that.
Sorry?
Where is that chat box? I cannot see that.
Are you talking about the normal chat box, or are you talking about how you want to write on the whiteboard?
No, I can write my name there, but
Huh?
yeah, just like you told.
That's it. That's it. So I said use the chat box in case you are not able to write on the whiteboard.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Whatever we have written is gone.
I know. I'm wondering where it disappeared.
Someone has selected the entire thing, I believe.
Yes.
And deleted it, I think.
You went to the second page. I think no,
Okay.
it's deleted. It's deleted, ma'am.
It's been deleted. Yes. It's
Yes,
not there.
yes.
Okay, so we have to write it again. But
Okay.
I'm getting some answers in the chat box also. Then Lakshmi saying videos, gamification, internship, yes, learning through examples from people who have got success and what led them to succeed, learning through what went wrong and what went well. Okay, case studies, role plays, on the job training, social learning, all right.
Samantini, I'm writing somebody's deleting the entire box. This is the third time I've opened.
I don't want anybody to delete anybody's boxes. Write your own.
We just had Children's Day on 14th.
Everybody's having a great
All of
time.
us have just.
Okay. Yeah, but I can see that a lot of boxes come up and then they disappear. Simulation, Palini. Okay, now the entire box has disappeared.
And something is going wrong.
5 times I've written, but somebody has deleted my box. So
Me
not
too,
able to
ma'am.
convey
I
my.
tried writing third time, but
All right.
Virtual ghost here.
Someone is not very clear, so while trying to write, he is deleting everything.
Yes, it has become, it's a mistake. Nobody's doing it on purpose. I understand that. The reason I gave it this to you is that this is another thing we can do in our online trainings. You can ask people to write on the whiteboard. This is called a collaborative whiteboard. Typically, otherwise, only the facilitator or the organizer can write on the board. But Zoom has this facility where all participants can write. But then this is also a danger that might happen, that you have written it and somebody is deleting it. So you will have to, if you're using this, give yourself enough time to explain to people how to do it, try it out with them, and maybe it will be useful if you have a lesser number of participants. With 65 people, then everybody writing in, probably that is what is not working. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop this board and okay, close the whiteboard. But I think I've got all the answers, because even though you were writing it and it was getting deleted, Most of the answers I've got, including OJT, apprenticeship, shadowing, role plays, case studies, simulation. In the chat box, we've got train the trainer. Chandan, you have written this answer. Can you please explain TTT and why is it an experiential method? Shadab, you have also written TTT.
We used to train our trainers on a particular module. So what we used to do is, means once they will be in a training profile, what they will be doing it. So we used to have some examples, like because they are the people who are having work experience. Now we are going to give them a training profile. So we used to have a program in our
Okay.
restaurant model. I'm from restaurant industry, so here we are having train the trainer.
I think, ma'am, in TTT, generally in TTT programs, first day they will impart the training on theoretical parts. Okay, and second day the trainer will give the training by using the tools. So maybe that's why he told it's
A teach back session kind
teach back
of.
session, yeah. And we'll shoot the video and then we'll give the feedbacks like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if it is a teach back session, then it is experiential. Yes, Shadab, you've also written TTT.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I'm also from a restaurant background, and in our industry, what we do the same thing on the job. We first show the PPT. What are the steps we need to follow? For example, if I'm showing up the team members how to cook anything, for example, a momo, right? So we show the PPT, what are the steps, how we need to do it, and they write it down, and then we ask the team members to do it on the job. So that's why
Okay.
we call it TTT, that's trainer.
Okay. So that's an entire program, TTT. The experiential learning method that you are using is actually making them do it. Now you understand the difference?
Correct.
Right, ma'am.
Okay. So while designing the training program, one part of it is initially teaching them by way of a PowerPoint or by way of lectures. That is one methodology. That methodology is very valid, but it is not an experiential learning method. Only and only if you follow this PPT and ask them to, recreate that dish or actually show the process or the procedure, then it becomes experiential learning method. So these experiential methods that we are talking about, there are two ways to use it. They can be standalone methods like the OJT that you have put in. So lots of people have talked about OJT, that is on the job training or shadow training or learning from other people doing it, or you have knowledge transfer sessions from where you're learning. So this is standalone method of teaching, also called experiential. These are experiential learning methods. Another way to look at it is these methods, how do I use it in my training program? So I am doing a TTT. What experiential method can I use? So that is where the other things that you have mentioned, case studies, storytelling, gamification, videos, all this is coming in the training program. All right. So they are also just, you need to be clear that they can, some of them are stand-alone learning methods. Some of them have to be used during the training program to help with experiential learning. So when you're designing the training program, we are going to use quite a few of these methods. So some of them I have listed down over here. Nothing new, all that you have actually looked at, already told me. So role plays, simulation, case studies. There is something called problem-based learning, action learning projects, outdoor adventure learning, on-the-job apprenticeship. All this is going to be done in detail. So from 1 to 7, we're going to do in detail in the subsequent classes. The others that are listed down here, 8 to 13, this we are going to go through just now, just to let you know what we are going to give an overview of them. All right. So group discussions. I mean, nothing new in group discussions. We all use it. What is the prime use of your giving a group discussion? Anyone can answer?
Basically, it will be more of exchanging ideas and,
Ma'am,
have more solutions driven would be there.
ma'am,
So,
brainstorming can be there.
brainstorming, yes.
Get more participation.
Okay. So,
And people also open up also.
Sometimes
Involve
it's
the people.
ice breaking as well.
okay. Hold on. Can we just raise your hand so that, we don't interrupt everybody? I'll give you chances to answer. So we've got answers right now is for participation, engagement, peer learning, brainstorming. Absolutely correct. So main thing that we are doing here is we are going to use people's knowledge and experience for our own purpose. So people already know it. You don't have to teach everything. What do? Put them into groups, ask them to discuss, let them come out with an answer. Fantastic. You are going to be there as a guide in the end to tell or to put it a structure in it or use this information that they have given to teach something more. All right. So you could have simple topics like, you are having a problem solving and decision, class. And you can give them a group discussion saying that should companies prioritize short-term profits or long-term sustainability? So it's a very different topic. But what happens is when we teach them problem solving and decision making techniques, half of them will ask you questions. No, but then why should we look at this? Why should you not look at this? Get it out, get it done from them. They have enough knowledge, enough experience to answer these questions. Okay. Similarly, decision-making techniques you are going to teach. Before that, have a group discussion saying, should decisions in team be taken democratically or hierarchically? So who takes a decision? They will decide in the group discussion. What all techniques we can use is something we can teach. So if they come up with the answer democratically, okay, now democratically, how are you going to do it? Are you going to have a majority, nominal group technique, or you're going to go in for a consensus? So all these techniques, if you're going to do it democratically. Hierarchical है, एक ही person decision लेने वाला है, maybe senior, you can still talk about it. That when do you use this style? When should you go in for hierarchical? It's not good if every time only the boss is going to take the decision. How will other people grow? But boss has to take decisions when maybe in a crisis situation, when we don't have enough time, when we can't afford a mistake, that's when he should take a decision. So just one group discussion and so many ways and means can be used. Okay. However, group discussions, again, take a little longer. Everybody has to say something. Presentations take longer. So you can see, in case you have a very large group, you may or may not want to go in for it. Via media is like a fishbowl group discussion. So there'll be a core group having a discussion and others observing and noting down things. That also is a via media. So that every participant is engaged, but we are not making so many groups. Okay, what about games and gamification? I want to know some games that you all take during your training programs or you have attended. Any examples you can share? Yes, Ruchi.
Team building activity, team building any.
Give me one example.
That balloon exercise, which you normally do. The balloon hops from one place to another, and so that shows how connected you are as a participant, and the balloon should not fall down. That kind of exercise.
So
as a team,
throwing the balloon in the air and you have to
yeah.
just push it up and it shouldn't fall down or it
As
shouldn't
a
burst.
group, you usually need to try that effort. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, Ashna. I'll come to you,
So,
Aditi. No.
yeah. So, ma'am, in an online training, it was on team management. So, what I did was I created 4 breakout rooms and I created an entire murder mystery just on PPT. So, what I did was I said that there is a person who has been killed, and there are 4 tasks or 4 hints you need to figure out. And once you figure that out, you can come to the main activity breakout room or the main area. And then
Okay.
once each and every team comes to the main area, then there will be another, main hint, another activity or another hint which they'll have to figure out together based on their answers.
Okay.
Yes,
All
so there were
right.
4 different answers that collaboratively had to come out to the actual answer who was the killer. So that is how I created a murder mystery of sort. And the interesting thing which happened here was, ma'am, there were 3 teams which, did their part in time. It was based from 4 locations, and it was a mix of those 4 locations. There were some teams sitting in Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. So
Okay.
what happened was 3 teams did it in time, and 1 team was still struggling. There were no instructions given in the beginning whether they can help each other or not. But then all those 3 teams, they were so invested in that they all went to the 4th team and they started helping them. So that is what my giveaway
All the
was.
learnings.
Yes,
Yes.
that this is how you need to act in a team. You do your work and then you can help others also. That is what a team is.
Yeah.
So that
So
is how I
this
did
kind
it.
of an activity that Ashna is talking about, that is actually games. So you're giving them a game. Now she's done it virtually. There are escape rooms available, if you know now. So a lot of team building activities happen there. They go escape room mein, and it is nothing but the same thing she said. So murder mystery rehta hai, you have to find, they give clues and you have to come out. You can come out only once you've got all the answers. So it's a proper setup and everything. Very good fun, good activity. It's a game. Okay. Similarly, what Ruchi talked about, throwing the balloon up in the air, and it has to remain in the air and not burst. The team cannot let it come down. So that is again a game. Can anyone give me an example of what is gamification?
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yes, Neha. I want an example of gamification.
Yeah, so in the gamification, we have like during an interview system, and also during our there's like our value systems are being taught to the new joinees basically. So we have an gamification path called as Pathfinder.
Okay.
And that some the kind of game kind of thing, it's an online portal, in Disperse portal they have kept it. So we have to like play and learn the values, basically like some car race or something like that. It's been done.
I think that may still be under, I don't really know the exact what you're saying, but I think it's still under games and not gamification. Gamification is slightly different. It's actually
Can
learning
I say
model.
something?
Yes,
Can
Chandan.
I?
Chandan, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we used to conduct inductions for new joinees. So what I used to do is, suppose there are 10 people who have joined. So on day one, I'll give them A4 size sheet and I'll ask 10 random questions. Like, what is your favorite place, where you want to go visit, or where you belong to, favorite food, like 10 questions is this. Then I'll collect these papers and randomly distribute these papers to each of them. Now, person A is having paper of person C. Now he has to introduce this person. First round will go like this. Then they have to keep this paper. On day 3 or 4, I'll again ask them to now they have to memorize the thing what they have means introduced,
Learned.
and that person has to verify whether it is right or wrong. The person who is having most of the right answers is the winner. I'll then give them chocolate or something like that.
Okay, so Chandan, this is also an activity, but it comes under the heading games.
Ma'am,
So let me just
gamification could be like using the elements of game like pointers or leaderships boards in something which is not a game. Like we are giving a training, but which is not a game, but training on suppose sales, and then we are using the elements of games like who is leading the
Perfect.
board, who
Yes.
scoring most points, like that.
Yeah.
So,
Anuradha, perfect answer. So,
Generally,
yeah.
madam, in micro skill, like in sale training or even in manufacturing training, okay, micro skill content we are using. In micro skill, somewhere we want to do the assessment. Assessment is a boring activity, but somewhere we will do the assessment by using the game tool.
Okay, like
for example, you can use a different game, okay, and the person will select the options and ultimately he feel like he is playing a game, but ultimately he is doing a quiz, like that.
So quizzes, let me clarify, because we are just getting lots of examples and we won't be able to complete our portion for today. So when you are talking about a quiz, it is still a game. Okay, so where, okay, I have got this slides. Why not show it here? So a type of activity or a learning experience within a game framework. And as Anuradha said, gamification means adding an element of games, okay, to the actual learning process. Okay, the difference would be, okay, how many of you have done Udemy, any course, Udemy or Coursera? Okay, Shubhangi is done. So after every module, there's a short quiz. Then they will give you a badge saying itna ho gaya, utna ho gaya. That is gamification. Okay. So
Ma'am, may I add something if you allow?
yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am,
Shubhangi.
like it is not related to corporate, but it is in academia. Like we were continuously teaching our students the concepts of economic and budgeting, but they were not learning it. So what we did, we found a game which is an app available on Play Store. There there were 4 teams. They were doing the budgeting part, and like they had their virtual stalls. So there was ki agar if suppose today is rainy day, so how much will you sell the product? They were selling juices, so accordingly they had to plan their stock, they had to budget accordingly, and then the team that was winning, they were getting extra rewards, extra money.
Shubhangi, I'm going to interrupt you here. This is still a game. It is a simulation.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the entire thing is a simulation. So you will have, a business simulation for entrepreneurship or decision making. These are still fully structured activities with defined rules, goals, challenges to simulate real world scenarios. They come under the under the heading games. Okay, if you take a quiz, team banaya, quiz diya, team which gets the maximum answers is the winner, they get a chocolate. Still a game. Okay, if you take a tower building activity in team building, still a game. You talk about a treasure hunt, still a game, because it has, and the what do you say, the how to determine the winner can be different. It could be depending upon the number of points each team has earned or a person has earned, or who finishes first, or who reaches the finishing line first. All these are game-based learnings. Gamification is slightly different. It is your learning some modules, some things, and to motivate people, you give them points, you give them badges. Like in school, we used to get a star on your hand, remember? So, आज अच्छा काम किया, star मिला, you're happy. That is gamification. So, what mechanics you can use is levels. That you have gone to level 1, now you can go to level 2. So, you cannot proceed to level 2 till you have completed level 1. That is gamification. You will have leaderboards, progress bars, or points. So this is all coming under gamification. So for example,
Can I tell something, ma'am?
Just 1 minute, Harish. Let me just finish this. So let's say, for example, sales training hai. So they can, every module ke baad, they can see a leaderboard based on the quizzes that they take. Or, customer service agents can earn badges by mastering different modules. So I master a module like, handling a difficult customer. I get a badge. Reducing my call time, I get a badge. This is what is gamification. Yes, Harish, now you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I have an experience regarding this gamification. In Tamil Nadu government schools, when I used to study 4th standard or faster, there is a system called a laddering system, in which there will be card stacks in every, the syllabus will be in the card, and the training materials, I mean the courses will be in card. Each of the we students have to go there and pick up a card with regards to the ladder. If I am completing the first ladder, I am eligible for going for the second ladder and learning something new. So if I to go for the second ladder, I have to complete the first one. So is this an example for gamification, ma'am?
Yes, this is gamification, because we are actually talking about adding elements of games to the entire study module or the syllabus that we are going to teach. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify, because otherwise usually people get mixed up into in both of these. But if you have done an ISTD TTT course, you should be knowing this very clearly. Nobody should say, "Arey, आपको certificate तो मिला है, diploma, you're a PGP holder, and you don't know this difference." So you should know about this. Okay, the other things that we can use experiential learning is instruments. Questionnaire, self-assessment instruments. So you will have, there are so many ready ones, team building, that Belbin questionnaire is there, which will give you the lead, team player styles. Or you're taking conflict resolution, you will have that Thomas Kilmann conflict resolution model. You have creativity quotients, you have transactional analysis. So these are questionnaires, even simple ones on listening. Active listening के ऊपर एक questionnaire मिल सकता है. And then each one gets a score of where they stand. It's a self-assessment. And then it becomes like a what's in it for me. I thought I'm a great listener. I get a questionnaire, my score is only 40. So it is a superficial listener, not a good listener. Now I'm invested into changing, from a superficial to an active listener. Okay, so even conflict resolution, you tell different methods of resolving conflicts. Then you give them a questionnaire. They identify their own predominant method. Now, is this right? Is this wrong? What should be your ideal scores? Sometimes there are no ideal scores, but sometimes there are. And then how to change to reach that perfect score. So instruments are also another way of another method of experiential learning methods. Storytelling and reflection circles. Now we all know about storytelling and reflection circles. It is also somebody had written in our this thing, chat box, storytelling. My question is, how does storytelling come under experiential learning? Why should it come? Because it's nothing to do with activity, na? तो एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग में क्या है, कैसे आ सकता है?
Maybe we are explaining through a metaphor which is relatable with their experiences.
Yes, you can. All right. Accepted.
Can I add something?
Yes, Bhavna, you raised your hand.
Yeah. The way we introduce case studies, in the same way we can introduce storytelling also. We can tell them a story and give them some kind of activity related to it. Or maybe we can ask them to tell the stories.
Okay. Another thought. Yes, Aditi?
Ma'am, through storytelling, we can make them feel and experience the entire story depending on how we are delivering it. They feel it, and we can actually make sure that we help them feel and experience whatever is being told in the story, the way it is told, the emotions that are being used while sharing the story.
Yes.
So it's in
Aditi,
that.
perfect answer. So when we are saying storytelling, you have to have that emotional engagement. So experience doesn't have to be actual experience. No, vicarious learning is also there. So listening to somebody's real life experience, So the delivery part of the story has to be very, very done very, very well. So there has to, when you're like, even if it is a simple thing, you are sharing an experience of how you felt when you saw a tiger in, National Tiger Reserve. But your actual feelings have to come through. Only then there will be an emotional connect. Once this emotional connect is there, then we are part of the, because experience, when you talk about experience, if you see, remember the Kolb's learning cycle, the first step is actual experience. But what we are saying is feeling, emotions, being connected. Therefore, storytelling is also an experiential learning method. Question, Ruchira?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you mean to say if we share some videos which is very inspiring and also storytelling in the form of, so it can
Yeah.
be?
Videos, there are different kinds of videos. All right. So you'll have a video on time management, you'll have a video on communication, which are fairly lengthy, 15, 20 minutes. Then that doesn't come under experiential learning. That reflection circle is very important for that afterwards. That video dekha hai, now what, tell me your observations, thoughts, learnings, etc. Very often videos are something like a recap or what to do. You have your answers there. Then it's not part of experiential learning, although it is a nice methodology that we can use in our training program.
Yeah, I mean to say videos can be used as a micro learning nuggets.
Yes.
If you have an advantage, as you rightly pointed out, Simantini, we have, let's say, 3 minutes video, 2 minutes video,
Yes.
then we ask the users to reflect upon those in a simulated environment, then it can be a good storytelling experience.
Absolutely. So short videos, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes max. That is actually telling an inspiring story. Or, maybe you used a video to show, let's say, a speech by Martin Luther King. And then you go and talk about using your voice while speaking, while communicating. So it can be connected there by reflective observations. That how did he use his voice? How did he change the mindset of the people? How did he even actually talk about his dream? So these kind of inspirational videos also absolutely okay. But the long, lengthy ones, which are absolutely coming under the heading training videos, they may not be part of experiential learning, although they are a methodology. Okay, last one bit I would like to talk about is this virtual reality and augmented reality. Okay, so again, there is a big difference between the two of them, and we should know about it. So any thoughts on what is virtual reality?
Yeah, like sometimes we go to see the PG, like PG, you can see 360-degree tour, which they show even in university. Sometimes, you can see 360 virtual tour is an example I mean.
So virtual reality basically it is a kind of, it replaces the real world entirely. For example, it may create a whole fully immersive synthetic environment as far as the difference exists. And augmented reality is something like where you kind of overlay digital content on a real world kind of a scenario, or enhance or augments user view of reality. That, in my view, seems to be the key difference in them.
And you are absolutely right, Sachin. So virtual reality is only virtual reality. It is simulation. fully. You're totally, completely immersed in a digital environment. So nowadays, again, you have these things, you wear those goggles and you play a tennis match with somebody. So you probably are just doing actions, but there is a real match going on over here in the headset that you're wearing. That is virtual reality. Augmented reality is, it's an actual scenario. I think most of you must have tried this out. There's a Google Lens in our smartphones. You put it, let's say you have gone out and you see a wonderful flower, you don't know what it is, take a fit photo and you'll come to know all the details about the flowers. That is
Yes.
augmented reality.
And
That is
that's also
AR.
there in the Amazon, right? You can see a piece of furniture or something in your room, right? In a simulated kind of an environment. A lot of apps are using these days,
Yes, yes.
all these things.
So augmented reality is partially immersive. Virtual is totally immersive. So difference is that it is totally immersive. Now, it has its uses. It's very good. Virtual reality simulation is very good, especially, when you're talking about complex things. You want to teach somebody to fly an airplane. But in fact, nowadays, forget airplane. A driving school. Earlier, they used to have that vehicle where there's a driver's seat and all the controls are also for the teacher. So I learned that way. But now, my niece went to learn driving in the, in the driving school, and she was first put in that simulated environment. Drive your car there. So they were taught to change the gear and everything. But she's on a simulated environment, seeing the road. So it's so much better for the teacher. I mean, the risk is so much lower. So yes, that is actually virtual reality, and it has got a lot of uses that nowadays, you can teach operations, medical students, they don't need to really actually operate. I mean, they can have a simulated operation before they actually go in for a, live operation. Then how to, repair a machine, or for that matter, pilot simulation of how to, take care of uh, riding a boat, or even for that matter, soft skills. Okay, soft skills normally don't come under virtual reality, but so many times you have role plays for, conflict resolution. So avatars of people are there, and you're actually shaking hands, having a negotiation, or resolving a conflict. Virtual reality is expensive, so usually ऐसे छोटे मोटे चीजें के लिए थोड़ा कम यूज होता है, but it is a possibility. It is used. Okay. Mostly they're used for dangerous situations, like, you're trying to find a terrorist, how to defuse a bomb, such kind of things are, or how to drive a combat vehicle in a very difficult terrain. So where are you going to get these experiences otherwise? Virtual
Ma'am,
reality.
where the stakes are high.
Yeah, usually there. But now what is happening is the cost is coming down. Earlier it was prohibitive. So if the
Right.
costs come down, then it becomes very, very simple. I will give you an example where I have experienced virtual reality for no training. We had gone to visit this in Malaysia. You've heard they have the Petronas oil company. They have the tallest twin towers now in the world. So I mean, it's a big tourist spot, so we can go and actually visit it. So they have this thing. They go, they take you to the oil rig in a helicopter. Everything is simulated. So they have this dummy helicopter kept there. They give us headset, and we are supposed to sit in the helicopter, and then they do everything. The scenery changes, the helicopter moves. Suddenly there is a gust of wind, so it will sway. Then you are landed on a rig. Everything is on virtual reality. So you have a really immersive experience of how Petronas oil rig looks like. And then they drop you back by helicopter. So it's really good. It's fantastic. And it's not even for learning. This is just something that they have done for showcasing their company.
Even, ma'am, nowadays, if you'll see the Facebook, Meta World, Meta Virtual World, In this meta world, you can say that you can the restaurants are there. Okay, even colonies are there. You can make a friend in virtual world. Okay, even you can buy the product in virtually. You can buy the products. You can buy the
Okay.
land, restaurant. You can buy in meta world. That kind of
Fully immersive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Anuradha this. I just wanted to share one experience from our regional committee meeting in ISTD conference yesterday. So there were a lot of speakers there, and we could not, since we are sitting in the audience, we could not read out their names. And many a time we wanted to search. So what we did is that we just clicked a picture, and somebody's iCard got scanned there from the stage. And it exactly get that this guy is from CSC, is in this position, and he's a speaker today at ISTD with the entire detail.
All the
So that
details.
was, yeah. That's
So you
very
were at the
interesting. So,
Insta-Region conference.
yeah, I was there
Okay,
a part
okay.
of this two-day event.
All right. Wonderful. So, in fact, you will not believe it. Just yesterday, I am from Pune, so we had gone for dinner at Pune Club, and at the in the dining hall there were these beautiful frames put up, and there was something like a QR code stuck on it. So these are frames, they're probably reprints, because I don't think Pune Club can afford the actuals, but they are paintings of really good artists, famous artists. So we thought that the QR code is about that. So वो click किया तो we'll get
Detail of the
details
pictures, yeah.
of the picture. Unfortunately, it was about the inventory, about when was this bought and how many clicks. So I had to actually tell that this QR code cannot be displayed. It is put it behind the frame or something, because otherwise, see, all your internal things are getting shown to others.
Getting it out, right? Huh?
So that is something dangerous also. But anyway, so that part is augmented reality. So you click, and through smartphones or tablets or something, you will get information. So today, a lot of learnings happen that way. So you click on a particular machine and they'll tell you how to set it up or how to repair it. One particular item is not working, the maintenance is coming. He will click a video and he gets an overlay on that actual photograph on how to take care of it. So this is what is augmented reality. And rather than taking a person to the assembly line, getting him repair something, this is another methodology that can be used to teach them. Okay. Students are learning the internal organ. So there are a number of photographs which just show exactly where it can be used. Okay, you can look at them at your leisure. So the difference between the two is the level of immersion. Virtual reality is fully immersive, augmented is partially immersive. Equipment required, virtual reality, you require those headsets, which are like goggles. Augmented reality, you can actually use tablets or AR glasses, smartphones, all of them are good enough. Okay, environment is totally simulated. In augmented, it is real world plus digital overlay. And it is best for full simulation training. Augmented reality is best for contextual learning with real world integration. Okay, so these are some of the experiential methods. What I would like to talk about now is most of this, we've just kind of given an overview of them, how to use when. And therefore, I'd like to go back to our COBS learning circle, which starts with concrete experience. This is our class number 1. I hope you remember it. Okay, so it's a cycle of learning where it starts with concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So how will we apply all this, all the methodologies? So this is where we can actually learn. Now, concrete experience, what is the learning process here? Doing, feeling, experiencing. That is that is the learning process. So what do? Is we use learning methods which are that way. So use role plays, simulation, outdoor activities, real world challenges. Okay, so you might have an conflict resolution acting scenario role play, or a virtual reality of safety training, or you can have an escape room or the murder mystery that Ashna talked about. Okay, why? This is concrete experience. Reflective observation, what is the learning process? Observing and reflecting. So they may actually experience it, or they may be part of the team, or they're observing somebody else doing it. So role play of conflict resolution chal raha hai. Two people are doing the role play. What do? I'm observing it. So it's still a learning for me. So observing, but learning happens only after reflection. So process of learning is observing and reflecting. So what method can we use here? Storytelling, reflection circles, pointed questions that you can use as debrief after an activity, asking them to note down something or journaling something. For example, group discussion, post-experience guided discussions. Abstract conceptualization, making sense of the experience and theory building. So at this stage, we introduce the theories. So what you can do is give them case studies or presentations or introduce design thinking. So example would be analysis of business failures or successes, learning models from experts. So you've taught something and you call in an expert in that particular field to teach you or build a theory under it. And last is active experimentation. What is the way of learning here? They learn to apply whatever they've learned in the new situations. So what you can do is here is action learning projects. We've not discussed this. It will be taken in the subsequent classes. But gamified practices, simulated challenges. These are methodologies you can use here. Example would be team innovation challenge or problem solving simulations, etc. Okay, any questions here?
When we give articles to read, will it come in concrete experience?
Yeah, it could come under concrete experience as well. But what do you do post reading the article? That is where it will become clearer. So are you going to ask them to make a presentation or use
Focus
this
questions
information?
or presentation.
Focus questions, then definitely it will come under concrete experience. Okay.
Samantini, I have a question there.
Yeah.
Can I ask now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes what happens, you have trainees which are difficult to handle. Okay, and you give them some kind of activities there to break the way to just sometimes they come in, they make groups and all, and they try to disturb the entire session. So you come up with some kind of activities. What would you call those activities?
Icebreakers.
No, that's not
Energizers bolte. Icebreakers is usually only done once in a session, that is in the beginning, because we are breaking the ice between the participants, ice between them and learning, ice between them and us. So icebreaker training program में एक ही बार होता है. Other times what we are doing is energizers. So we do an activity, they are called energizers. But very often the energizers are just fun energizers. Like, you ask them to stand up and, do jumping jacks, or ask them to take run around in a circle. That is just to increase the energy level. There is no learning from it. There's no learning from it.
Can I add here once?
Yes.
Yeah, Bhavna, there is something called detouring. So basically, when when an audience has an attitude of I know it all, or maybe is a distracted one, there are certain techniques we can use. And I think detour is one wherein we can put a question around and get the answer from them. So basically, their idea is not to participate or to actually ruin the class, because they have that mindset that मुझे सब आता है. तो वहां पे ऐसे फेमस क्रिकेटर्स वगैरह होते हैं ना, तो आई डोंट नो वेदर टाइम अलाउ, लेकिन वनडे सीरीज में हुआ था, धोनी को पूछा गया था कि आप रिटायर कब कर रहे हो, बिकॉज इट वाज वो मैच हार गए थे. तो जब उन्होंने आंसर दिया था तो उन्होंने बोला था कि डू यू थिंक आई एम नॉट फिट इनफ Do you think somebody from your family can? So it was very humorous way he handled, but the answer keep coming from the participants. So there are various way of detouring. Detour को थोड़ा सा मतलब how do we deal with people questions and how do we actually get them understand that they are not following the line of training?
Actually, what I generally do when they come up in groups now, very smartly, I
हाँ, वो
guide
that is the
them.
first thing. This you understand and वो that is our litmus test. कि पहले हमें group उनको करना है.
Yeah,
There are
divide them.
various way we can, actually,
So
ask them
However,
direct
the question that you asked, Bhavna, whatever you're doing just now, that is not coming under any of these methodologies, experiential learning
That's what I
methodology.
wanted to understand.
So it doesn't come under that. You're handling the situation either by energizing the group or giving them an activity or diffusing the tension that is created by the sabotagers. But it is not an experiential learning methodology. If you want to use, if you know about this, that happens. There was a time once when I was actually called and I was given this input that this is interdepartmental problems and ये इन दोनों का झगड़ा होता है, इन दोनों का झगड़ा होता है. I was given this information. So for me, that was work to be done, homework to be done beforehand on how I make the teams. So this time the teams were not made like, count of 3, count of 4, chits dala red color ki ek team, white color ki ek team. No, I made the teams with the names. So X, Y, Z, आप ये टीम में होगे, ABC आप वो टीम में होगे. So this is, if you know about it, then it forms a part of your experiential learning methodology, because what I'm doing is then I'm doing this activity which may fall under any of this. But somewhere people are disturbing you and you do something about it, it is not an experiential learning methodology at all. It is something you're doing to take care of your audience.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so what we are, just to recap, select methodologies from every quadrant. वो learning cycle जो है, हर एक चीज में, like this is what our learning, this is it, na? So every cycle पे there is one activity or the other. Select them. Okay, don't just say एक concrete experience हो गया काम खत्म. No. Start with the concrete experience to hook the audience. Encourage deep thinking by, reflective observations or theory building. Let learners end with active experimentation. So let learners apply what they have learned in the new scenario. And it can be done very simply by a quiz also, or asking them to share where they're going to apply it, or asking them to prepare an action plan. It doesn't have to be an actual fully gamified activity. Can be simple things, but every part of that learning cycle, कुछ ना कुछ activity होनी चाहिए. Okay. Another reason for it, I don't know how much time we have. We have started late, so can I take just 2-3 minutes more?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I would like to, David Cope also talked about different learning styles. Again, class 1. Okay, diverging style, who like to learn by feeling and watching. Assimilating style, these are the people who like to think and watch and think. Then there is people who are the converging people. They like to think and do, actually. And the accommodators who feel and do. So they are the intuitive ones. So we have looked at this in depth. But सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ अपने ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम डिजाइन में होना चाहिए. So we have the divergers. Okay, what are their characteristics? They like to gather information. They see many perspectives. They're very imaginative. They observe before acting. तो उनके लिए क्या करना है? कुछ तो reflective journaling कर दो, brainstorming sessions दे दो, allow them to have group discussion on topic. Like we discussed in the beginning that, before talking about decision making techniques, ask them which is the best method, hierarchical or democratic. So mindset वहां से चालू हो जाएगा. Assimilators, they are the ones who are analytical, logical. They value ideas and concepts more than they value people. So for them, what do? Give them some lectures. So I'm not saying lectures is a very bad, it is not an experiential learning activity. However, interactive lectures or lecturettes, 15 minutes interactive, good, they're good for them. That is where you might introduce some logical ideas or theories or models, or give them reading material. Like one of you asked that if I give them an article, is it considered to be a experiential learning method? It is, only because we are going to do something more after that. Then the converging style, these are problem solvers. They converge on problems. They're very practical and they like to solve real world problems. So give them real world problems to solve. Give them case studies. Allow them to go to the technical skills lab and practice. Okay. Last one, accommodating style. Hands-on. They rely on intuition, feelings, and they like challenges. So allow them role plays. You'll find, if you say that we're going to have a role play, I want volunteers. They are the ones who usually raise their hands immediately. Okay, simulation दे दो, on the job training दे दो, outdoor activities कर दो, field work करने को दे दो. Okay, so this is not an exhaustive list. I'm just teaching you a way of thinking that this is the learning style. ये कैसे लोग रहते हैं and what can we now use as a method of training in our training program. Okay, so just a few tips. If possible, Cope's learning style inventory, so there is a questionnaire available. If it is possible, get it done from them. You will get to know the predominant learning style of your participants. Accordingly, you can make the changes in your design. If you're not able to do it, or typically you will find that there are people in all learning styles. So what do? Rotational training model. Touch all 4 styles, touch all 4 stages of learning. Okay, and blend those activities. However, also let me just end the day by giving you tips that finally learning objectives have to be met. So मजा आ गया, activity कर दिया, it was so much fun. सीखा क्या? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, so ultimately all your activities that you're going to use, whether it is storytelling or reflection or a game या balloons ऊपर उड़ा रहे हैं, finally इसमें सीखा क्या is something that is very very important, and that is what you have to drive home. Okay, so that takes care of our session today. I think Sneha, Shriya, you have raised your hand for a very long time. Do you have a question or anything?
No, I was telling about the VR module basically that time.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And
What happens is we have got such little time to cover so many things that I can take only 1 or 2 questions from everybody, answers from
Ma'am,
everybody.
hi ma'am. I actually, first of all, I got confused. I just logged in thinking it is at 1:45 because the earlier class got cancelled, and I thought since morning we were on call, so I thought let's take some breather.
Break.
When I call, it's about to close. Well, I'll see that in the YouTube channel. But
Yes,
apart from that, I really wanted to ask for one support, ma'am. Whenever we are doing any such, training programs, because I've been doing training programs on emotional intelligence for my team for past 2 years. Now I find these support material, like if I give an example of Johari window, or all these kind of self-evaluation test. So is there any site from where we can buy, or is there how is there any place on the net where we can access all these material? Because I found it I was just working on one of the module
Yeah.
of self awareness. Then I
Awareness.
found Zohari Windows. Such stuff, if we could get somewhere from some site.
See, everything is not available on one side because
I know that's there.
so you will have
Go
to
to
Johari window is now you are using it as self-awareness for emotional intelligence. But Johari window
yeah,
is a totally interpersonal skill questionnaire.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it can be used in multiple ways, but I actually am not sure that there is one place where everything is available. But
That's
like
I
you,
know.
I do a lot of searching.
Yeah.
बहुत सारा search करना पड़ता है.
Exactly.
Take
You're
help
right.
of AI. Chat GPT को questions पूछोगे ना तो they give some answers. However, I did not like the answers given to me by Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have to be very careful with all the AI tools that you might use. But if you ask them that I want already acceptable questionnaires for XYZ module, and then you ask the questions further that who has validated this, कब आया है, what is the rating for this, थोड़ा सोच समझ के only then use it. Otherwise, I personally, I don't want to give a questionnaire to my participants and then realize that ये कुछ तो गलत है. Okay, and secondly, also with all these instruments that we use, also note that I actually tell people I am not a psychologist or I have not done psychology. So my understanding of this, if you're asking me, tell me your psyche from this questionnaire, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I can tell you how I'm going to use this questionnaire for building relationships or taking care of your emotions. So this is you have to be very careful when you're using the instruments. If you are an expert, then definitely you can give all your inputs there.
No, I am not at all an expert. I've done all my training based on the research from Harvard Business School or from any
Yeah, so all these
scientist work.
these these reputed researchers, Harvard, I use Harvard Business very much.
Yeah.
And then I actually in my notes when I'm preparing, I noted down that this questionnaire I have taken it from Harvard Business
Yeah.
date,
Same thing.
year, etc. Because nobody should question you later on ये कहाँ से
Exactly.
मिला.
True. That's what I do, ma'am.
So,
So I was
and just
wondering.
to add, just to add to what Simantini suggested, for example, I'm not sure whether you are using some whiteboard tools like Miro or Mural, but there are templates there, which are ready-made templates for Johari window type of things, which you can utilize over there for virtual team exercises.
What is that? Can you come again? The name?
Miro board, have you used?
No, never.
MIRO, no?
MIRO or Mural, just search on that, right? Because there are online templates. This is not a ready-made test per se, because it's more like a facilitated exercise. Simantini can correct me. It's a model for self-awareness and mutual understanding within a group, right? So for that, there are certain templates, ready-made templates, which are available. Search on internet, you will identify it. But I'm just giving you these two tools, Miro and Mural. Those have ready-made Johari window templates already, which are excellent for virtual team exercises.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Mukesh sir, you have a question?
Yeah, so currently we are in transition phase. Maximum, I'm coming from pharmaceutical industry. Okay, earlier our maximum session was in OJT or maybe in classroom session, or we are using all experimental methodology. But nowadays everything is moved in LMS. Okay, so slowly and gradually we are decreasing the experiential methodology. Okay, and because of this, currently learning is diluted. So I think that is alarming to us how we can cope up with the technology.
So that is where they start using gamification and things like that,
Agree,
Still,
but
yeah,
still it is more
I
effective.
understand your concerns totally. Because it becomes very dry, and the thing is also having a classroom session. There are too many advantages because there's a lot of peer learning, which never happens through an LMS.
Agree.
No peer learning. Look at them. See, when I ask you a question, give me an example. 10 people gave examples. So we've got so many examples here. So these things don't happen. So, but that's a problem.
Because in self-learning and even in gamification, or you can say that simulations, Chrome content, or maybe video-based learning, if learner wants to learn, then and then it is possible. Otherwise,
So that's
it
not
is all about a
entirely
formality.
correct. That's not entirely correct, Mukesh. If I look at the pharmaceutical, I work for some of the top 10 pharmas across the globe. Most of them, they do not have only LMSs now. They are having multiple systems, right? And all of them, I can say the top one at least, they have learning experience platforms. So it has host of different things where people during even a small micro learning module, they are giving the facility to interact with each other in the group discussions, right? So there are plenty of opportunities out there for people to reflect. Gamification elements as well as learning in the flow of work, which is called LeFO, is also available through the various AI-based apps, where if you are using a system, you will get the instant help over there, right? And you can reflect over there several times. So it's not entirely true. I'm not sure in India, if you're talking about the Indian context, maybe they are catching it up, but across the globe, I think it has moved too fast over the period of time, especially on the experiential side of it.
If you'll see, for example, in pharmaceutical industry, all about approved materials are there, like SOP, standard operating procedure.
May I just interrupt? I
We
don't
will
want to.
connect later, not an issue.
The thing is, this is going in a different this thing.
Yes.
I also, I'm sure there are people who want to disconnect for the next class if it is happening. So I don't want to, take time here. This discussion, definitely you can take it offline later on also. Okay, I am there, Mukesh, in case you want to discuss with me.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Over to you, Gurvinder. I don't know if he's there. Is he there?
We have the next session.
That is what I want to check.
Ma'am, we don't actually. The earlier session was got
we don't
cancelled.
have any.
Okay.
No, it has been cancelled, the third one.
Okay. All right. So then thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.